Have you ever poured your heart out in prayer, only to be met with silence? Have you ever felt the weight of a dream, a hope, a desperate plea, and wondered if you were speaking into an empty void? In the vast, quiet expanse of time, where does your faith stand when the heavens seem still? This is the story of a man much like any of us, whose life was a testament etched in the sands of time. He lived in an age of prophets and promises, a humble soul whose heart burned with a single fervent prayer. In the quiet solitude of his candlelit chamber, kneeling on cold stone floors, he would whisper his desires to the Almighty. He prayed for a breakthrough, a sign, a purpose that would ripple through eternity. But as days turned into months and months into years, the silence grew louder than any storm. His once vibrant hope began to feel like a flickering candle flame, threatened by the winds of doubt. He saw others receive their blessings, their prayers answered like sudden summer rain, while his own spiritual ground remained parched and dry. The world moved on, but he remained in a season of waiting. His journey took him through vast, unforgiving deserts. The scorching sun beat down on him, mirroring the heat of his unanswered questions. The sand, shifting with every gust of wind, symbolized the instability he felt in his soul. Was he forgotten? Had he been forsaken? Each grain of sand seemed to whisper a taunt of his unfulfilled longing. He climbed mountains, seeking to be closer to the sky, closer to the one he believed in. Amidst the cold, sharp peaks, he would scream his prayers into the uncaring wind, his voice lost in the echoes of the valleys below. He faced storms, both in the skies and within his own heart, where thunderclaps of despair threatened to shatter his spirit. In these moments of profound loneliness, he was tempted to believe the greatest lie of all, that his faith was in vain. Yet in the deepest chambers of his soul, a tiny ember of hope refused to be extinguished. It was a stubborn, quiet faith, a belief that God's silence was not his absence. He held on to the ancient scrolls, the words of the prophets who also endured long seasons of waiting. He learned that the silence was not a punishment, but a classroom. The desert was not a void, but a training ground. In the waiting, his character was forged. Patience, once a foreign concept, became the very rhythm of his heartbeat. His desires were refined, purified from a selfish want to a selfless purpose. He began to understand that he wasn't being ignored, he was being prepared. Every tear he shed watered the seeds of a strength he never knew he possessed. Every moment of doubt he conquered built a foundation of unshakable trust. He learned that a prayer is not a command given to the divine, but a conversation that unfolds in divine timing. What he perceived as a delay was actually divine design. God was not denying his request. He was developing the man who would be ready to receive it. He was being molded, strengthened, and prepared for a destiny far greater than the one he had originally prayed for. Then, one morning, as he stood atop a familiar peak, weary but not defeated, something shifted. It wasn't a thunderous voice or a dramatic sign. It was a single, gentle beam of golden light that broke through the thick morning clouds, illuminating the valley below. In that quiet, breathtaking moment, revelation flooded his soul. He understood. The years of silence were not empty. They were filled with unseen work, with quiet preparation. The breakthrough he had prayed for was never just about the destination. It was about the journey that made him worthy of it. His purpose wasn't a sudden gift, but a reward earned through endurance. The answer to his prayer arrived, not in the way he had imagined, but in a way that was infinitely more profound. It was a purpose that could only be fulfilled by the man he had become through the waiting, a man of deep empathy, unwavering faith, and profound wisdom. His story became a living parable, a testament to all who would come after him. So, if you find yourself in a season of waiting, if the silence feels deafening and your hope is wearing thin, remember this story. Remember that the teacher is always quiet during the test. Your desert has a purpose. Your storm is shaping you. God's silence is not a sign of his absence. It's a sign of his intricate and loving work in your life. What feels like a delay is not a denial. It is divine preparation. Trust the process. Hold on to your faith, even if it's just a flicker. Because when the sun finally breaks through your clouds, you will be ready to stand in its glorious light, stronger and more prepared than you ever thought possible. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If this story resonated with your spirit, please like, share, and subscribe for more messages of faith and encouragement. May your path be blessed, and may you find strength in your season of waiting.